Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, the 12th of June. Welcome to your last workout of the week, unless you're doing tomorrow Saturday morning, and then you've got one tomorrow morning. So today is a really great little workout. Okay, we've got an AFAP, so as far as possible in 60 minutes. So we've got an ascending ladder, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So we're increasing by 4 repetitions every single round. And we're going to try and get as far up that ladder as you can in 16 minutes. Okay, and what we've got is we've got 4 burpees and 4 V-ups. Okay, so there's a lot of abdominal, this kind of thing going on. Okay, 4 burpees, 4 V-ups, and then we've got a 20-meter bear crawl. Then we do 8 burpees, 8 V-ups, 20-meter bear crawl, 12, 12, 20-meter bear crawl, 16, 16, 20-meter bear crawl, 20, 20, etc., etc. As far up the ladder as you can, and you try and do as many rounds of that as you can in 16 minutes. So the burpees are going to drive your cardiovascular rate up. Okay, and you're going to work your midline. The V-ups are obviously going to work your midline. That's going to start getting tired of this. You're going to make sure that you keep that back safe. And the bear crawl is going to fatigue lungs and legs and shoulders, and that shoulder stability as well as your scapular girdle as you go all the way through. Okay, we've got lots of different scaling options to make this work for you. So let's have a look at it for you. Before we get into this, we've also got project inverted number 6 for you today. So hang around for that upside down handstand progression workshop that we've been working on for the month of June. Okay, so we've got first one, burpees. So burpees, we all know, you're nice and easy. Remember, what you're looking for is making sure that the stomach stays tight and we're not taking too much work into this lower lumbar spine. So hands onto the floor, you're gonna press back, knees to floor, chest to floor, pop, press up, stand. Burpees, okay? Keep that stomach tight. Well, only thing we want to see with the burpees, okay, make sure when you go down that you're not going down into your knees, okay? And then that you keeping their work in the hamstrings and the hips, hands onto the floor. And when you jump out, that you're not popping into the hips. Keep the hips up nice and high, knees to floor, chest to floor. When you come up, try not to snake up into the back. You've got to keep that stomach tight. Pop up, stand. Hips to floor. Hands jump back, knees to floor, pop. Feet nice and wide still, so you're not on the knees, stand. If you're not doing full burpees, you can do kickbacks. Kick back, kick up. Okay, so to save the shoulders a little bit of work, also to save your lower back. Or you can do step backs, step back, and you can either do a press or not have to do the press on those step backs. Okay, so next one we've got is V-ups. So from V-ups, you've done these a few times. Let's look at the movement. So what you're looking for is to try and make sure the work is in this midline and not in the lower back. So full V-up progression, rib cage connected, lower back nice and flat on the floor, heels pressed out, chin tucked in, arms into an overhead position, and with arms, straight legs, pop up, back down, back down, back down. So if you're strong enough to do a V-up, straight legs, and there's no work in your lower back, great, do that. If you need to take a bit of a progression, you can take a bit of a bent knees, same thing, touch, okay. That will take some of the work out of the hip flexors, take a bit of work out of the stomach with the knees bent. If you need to do something slightly different, you can do a sit-up, okay? Chin tucked in, again, make sure that head's not going backwards and forwards, keep the chin tucked in, pull, top up. If your lower back doesn't like this hinging movement, either because of the sit-ups or the V-ups, then we do some kind of a cycle. You can either go into a bicycle, okay, working left and right, so you're working the abdominals, you can even do a plank. Okay, so you're turning around, going to some kind of a plank progression, and you go 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. So for every 1001 and 1002, it's a single rep on the side. That's going to be your different V-ups. And then your last one is a bear crawl, okay? So your bear crawl, hips nice and feet nice and wide, straight arms, straight legs, and we're walking forward. You do 10 meters if you want to in one direction. You can turn around and you do forwards bear crawl on the other side, okay? The closer you can bring your hands to the feet, the more you're going into the bear crawl. Okay, if you're not doing a bear crawl, if you're not comfortable, you can do an inchworm. Feet shoulder width apart, hands to the floor. You're going to walk back out, knees to floor, chest to floor, push back up, push back through, walk back up, and that'll be 1 rep. Okay, so if you're doing a bear crawl, it'll be 20 meters there and back. If you're doing an inchworm, then use that ladder, that ascending ladder. If it's 4 for the round that you're doing, do 4. If it's 8, do 8. If it's 12, do 12. Okay, so it'll take probably a little bit longer than the normal bear crawl. Depends on how good you are at your bear crawls versus your inchworms. So that's your workout. Your burpees, either into kickbacks or step backs, or sit backs or step backs. If you're doing V-ups, it's V-ups, straight legs, bent knees, sit-ups, alternating, or a plank. If you're doing a bear crawl, you can then change it for inchworms if you're not doing a 20-meter bear crawl. That's your workout, guys. 16 minutes, set the clock, and smash the last workout of the week. If you need a little bit more briefing on your warm-up and some of the other progressions, stick with us. And then also we're going to go through project number 6 for Project Inverted, for that handstand workshop that we're busy with. Alrighty guys, so we got warm-up. 5 minutes as always. Run, row, skip, go for a jog, star jumps, get a plate, jump up and down. Anything that's going to get your heart rate going for about 5 minutes. Getting that cardiovascular system warm is what's going to help with that cardiovascular system and the cardiovascular work that's going to come later in the workout. Then we're going to start doing some kind of a skill-specific or movement-specific warm-ups. We're going to do some mountain climbers with push-ups and bear crawls. That's what's going to start getting you warm both in the shoulder girdle, in the midline, and the arms, legs, and shoulders for the workout that's coming. So we've got 4 mountain climbers, 2 push-ups, bear crawls. 6 mountain climbers, 3 push-ups, handstands, mountain climbers, push-ups, Samson stretch, mountain climb, push-ups, backwards bear crawl. Okay. So the mountain climbers. Okay. The mountain climbers, what we're doing. Shoulders over the top of the hands, connect that rib cage, up, stomach nice and tight, chin pulled up and in, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and short, okay? 4 mountain climbers. Then we're doing 2 push-ups, stomach nice and tight, shake push up, 1, 2, right? If you're gonna do push-ups from the knees, touch, press, lift, 1, touch, press, push, 2. If your shoulders don't like the push-ups, change the push-ups to a sit-up, some kind of a sit-up progression if you need to do that. Or we can even just do a plank hold for a plank, 1001, 1002. Then we're going to do a bear crawl, okay? So same progression, you're going to use a bear crawl. If you can do a bear crawl, do your bear crawl across the floor, turn around, come back. If you can do an inchworm, start with an inchworm, touch the floor, stretch the hamstrings on the low back, walk forward into an inchworm, walk back up. Second part, then you do 6 mountain climbers. Nice and slow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mountain climbers, 3 push-ups. Then we do a half handstand. So if you're good with handstands, okay, your half handstand is going to look like this. So again, we're just getting upside down, we're working up that shoulder girdle. That's going to help with some of the handstand work that we're doing just now. So from there, arms are up, arms press out. From there, kick up, hop, handstand, and it's just a half handstand. You don't have to hold at the top. Just a little scissor kick, come back down. It's a half a handstand, not a full handstand. From there, stomach tight, hop, and back down, up, hold, and back down. And you're just doing handstands across the floor. If you aren't comfortable with the handstand, what you can do to get that upside down work, you can just do a bit of a pike. Either hips press back, 1, hop, hips press back, 2, and if you want to do it up on a wall, hop, press back, 1, hop, hips press back, 2, overhead compression, lock out through the shoulders, shoulder girdle is working, same as if you're doing a handstand. Okay, then we're going to do, come back to the floor, we're doing 8 mountain climbers, we're doing 4 push-ups, and then we're doing a Samson stretch. So your Samson stretch, you're going to step, you can actually get that knee to the floor, press the arms out, press, open up the hips, lean back, 1, step, press, hop, press, 2. If you want to keep the same knee on the floor, you can actually do 4 or 5 on one side. Press, 1, press, 2, stomach tight, press up. So I'm reaching up as high as I can, and I'm stretching forward into this hip flexor. Okay, it's going to give me better mobility to the front of my hips. It's going to open me up for the work that I need to be doing just now. Those are going to be your Samson stretches. And then if you're doing a bear crawl, you can do a backwards bear crawl. A little bit more complicated than going forwards, but what it's going to focus on is this pushing through the shoulders. So backwards, from there, just a backwards bear crawl, push, push, rolling through the shoulders, 10 meters in one direction, and then you're going back and you're doing 10 meters in the other direction. Okay guys, that's the first part of the warm-up, dynamic mobility, getting the shoulders activated, midline nice and tight. Then we do a little bit of some shoulder shrugs or some shoulder prep work. We've got 3 little drills that we can do. We can spend a minute on each of the drills. The idea on the shoulder shrugs is we're getting the scapula and the shoulder girdle activated and pressing on the shoulder shrugs. The dynamic flexor stretch is just to get a bit of a stretch in an overhead position over the top for some mobility through the shoulders. And then a lying letter drill, which we're going to show you, is going to activate that posterior chain in that shoulder girdle. So first one, shoulder shrugs. There's a few different progressions you can use for this one. First one's going to be a kneeling position. Okay, and what we're looking for in a kneeling position is you're going to drop the shoulders down, hold at the top, I should say, hold at the bottom, hold at the top. And you can do this maybe even 30-40 seconds, and you can actually go through the same scaling, different scaling options until you get to the full progression that you're going to use. So spend yourself, say, 30 seconds or 10 reps, just getting that shoulder girdle activated. I don't want to see the shoulders around the ears, shoulders back and down, and pressing through. Next one is do the same thing in a push-up position. Something nice and tight, drop through, press up. So for some of you, this will be fine. For some of you, this may be very challenging already. So do as many of these as you can, and then if you need to drop back down to the knees, drop to the knees. Same principle, dropping the shoulders down, pushing through. Next one is going to push back into an overhead position and do the same thing, but with a compression. So from there, pushing back to the shoulders and press through. Push through, shoulders back. Push through the shoulders, shoulders back. Push through the shoulders, shoulders back. That's going to be in a pike position. Next one we can do either with a pike progression on the wall or a full handstand. So a pike progression on the wall will look like this. Okay, so from here, feet up on the wall, hips up in the air. And the more you get your hips over the top of the shoulders, the more work into the shoulder girdle, arms locked out, press, push through, shoulders down. Push the shoulders, shoulders down. Push the shoulders, shoulders down. So you can do that. Okay, and if you can do a full handstand up against the wall, you can do a full handstand. Same thing, same compressions. Hop, press up, shoulders down, press, shoulders down. Press the shoulders, shoulders down. Press, make sure to keep the stomach nice and tight and the glutes nice and tight. That's going to be your shoulder stroke. So it may take you a few progressions to get to whatever you're going to use, but take the time to get through the progressions. It's good to go through those different drills to eventually get up into the wall. Otherwise what happens is you throw yourself straight up into an overhead position and then you may not be warm yet, picking up an injury. It's worthwhile just taking it step by step to wherever you need to get to. Okay. Then we're doing a dynamic flexi swimmer stretch. Some of you are going to find it really tough. Some of you may not. Okay, the guys are really tight in their shoulders normally. So what you do is you stand with your hands behind your back like this. You turn your hands out and you're going to pull your arms over the top of your head. So from there, whoop, hips press back and pull. And you're going to try and pull those hands over the top of the shoulders as much as possible. You're going to hold 3, 2, 1. Neck, press back out. Press. Hold. 3, 2, 1. If you want to hold for longer, you can hold for longer. All right, so for myself, I know that I'm quite mobile and flexible in my shoulders. Some of you are going to find it a bit more difficult. So what you can do is grab a PVC pipe or a stick or a broomstick or a mop, and you can do this. Okay, the more narrow your hands are together, the more difficult it gets. So you can open up your hands. You can either you may find that your palms facing forward may be a little bit more difficult, okay, or your palms facing backwards may be a little bit, easier or difficult. You have to figure out which one's better for you. Okay, so we'll try first here. Hands slightly wider on your broomstick or your PVC pipe. Push your hips back, and you're going to bring your arm over the top. Pop, pull, stretch. 3, 2, 1. Hop, press back. 3, 2, 1. And you do that for about a minute. If you want to do it the other way around, turn your hands around. Hope doesn't feel that much different, but there's definitely a slightly different emphasis in the way that pulls either through the bicep or through the shoulder girdle. Great for some shoulder mobility. Work in as far as you're comfortable. Some of you may only be able to go to about there, which is fine. Okay, work your range of movement. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can also do just a nice, easy flag pole stretch. Do 10 rotations to one side, or do 10 rotations to the other side. Open up this shoulder on the side there. That's your dynamic flexi stretch or your flag pole stretch if you want to do. Next one we're going to do is a lying letter stretch. So the lying letter stretch there, what we're looking to do is I want to fire up all of this subscap, back of the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, get that fired up. The more this is fired up and engaged, the better our overhead position and the less stress through this front part of the shoulders here. Okay, so we're going to start lying on your tummy, chin's tucked in, arms on both sides, and we're going to start, you can start down by your side, chin tucked in, lock the leg straight, keep that stomach nice and tight, you can lift up, side, side, back, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can change the other way around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can do, say, 10 in one direction, do 10 in the other direction, and all I'm looking for is to try and keep these elbows, shoulders, hands up off the floor, so I'm squeezing between the shoulder blades and the back of my shoulders are warming up. And that's your lying letter drill. Nice and easy, okay? All right, guys, so project inversion number 6 today. So we're going to do 2 rounds of this. What we're looking for is we're going to do some press compressions. What we're looking for is we're trying to get those hips over the top of the shoulders as much as possible to get as much compression into the shoulder girdle with the elbows locked out. It's going to teach strength in that overhead position, as well as getting those hips over those shoulders, which is going to give you a better handstand position, okay, a better overhead holding position. And then we're also going to do some press to handstand. So we're going to start showing you how to start getting against the wall and getting used to being upside down and eventually getting those feet up into the air while maintaining a good overhead position. So the first one are press compressions. There's a few ways to start here. So your first progression is going to be just a pushback. Okay, so from there, hands position, from there we're going to press back and we're just going to do a normal pushback. Pushback, 3, 2, 1, and eventually, even in this position, I've already got a compression. I've got a compression through my elbow, my tricep, my shoulder blades pressing out. Come back, hold. Up, press, 3, 2, 1. And for some of you, that overhead compressions are really going to be challenging, okay? Both from a strength perspective or possibly from that overhead shoulder mobility position, okay? So work within whatever's comfortable for you. The next one we're going to do is we're going to do a pushback, but then I'm slowly going to walk my feet, tippy toe my feet up onto my hands, okay? Originally this drill was designed to do on a rower or with like a slippery sock program, but I'm going to show you with a tippy toe and walking our feet up over the top, okay? There are other ways of doing this. So what we're going to start with is a pushback, get a nice overhead lock, and now keeping my arms locked out, I'm going to try and bring my hips and my shoulders in line with my hands. So I'm going to walk up, walk up, walk up, walk up, walk up, walk up, hold up into my toes, compress, and then walk back down. 1. Okay, lock out to the shoulders, press up, press up, press up, press up, hold. I'm trying to push through my shoulders as high as I can and press back down. 2. Okay, that's going to be the one option. The second option is going to be doing with your feet on a box or on a chair. Okay, so your second option for your press compressions is to get your feet slightly elevated and then try and get your hips and your shoulders a little bit more over the top of your hands by getting your feet slightly higher up. So you can either use a chair or a table, depends how high your table is, okay? Right, or a box if you've got a box. So you're going to start in a bit more of a push-up position. You're going to walk your hands up as much as you can. Just make sure, and then you're going to try and bring your feet up, feet up, feet up, feet up. Press. You've got to be careful of not going too far over the top of your hands. Try and push the shoulder and lift your hips up. Press. And press back. 1. Press stomach tight. Lock your arms. Press. And press back. And that's going to be as much compressions as if you can. If you want to do some kind of a wall walk, you can, but ideally we want to try and get those hips over the top of shoulders as much as you can. If your hands are flat on the floor, you'll notice that as soon as the angle between your shoulder and your hands going over the top here, you may start to feel your wrist a bit more. So you may need to control how far over the top of your hands, your shoulders or your head go, because that's going to affect this wrist joint here. So if your wrists don't like it, just don't go as far overhead. Okay, those are going to be your press compressions. The next one we're going to go to is we're going to do a press to a handstand. So we're going to start against the wall, And we're going to start looking how do you get a good overhead position and start getting your feet up onto the wall. All right, so what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get nice and close to the wall. Arms are going to be locked out, elbows locked out. Now, gymnasts will be able to do this nice and easy. I struggle a little bit. I need to work on my strength work, which means that we also need to find a good progression for you guys to work on, right? So we're going to start with the elbows locked out nice and straight, head nice and wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly try and walk up as close to the wall as you can. You may be able to get your head and your shoulders to the wall, which is ideally what we're looking for. But in that position there, you're able to maintain a good lockout, but you're also going to feel a lot of pressure through there and through the shoulders. Ideally from here, I'd be able to lift up and bring myself up into a handstand, which I can't do. I'm not an Olympic gymnast. Okay, but what we are going to do is we're going to keep that lockout position and we're going to try and kick our legs up the air as high as you can. And we're just going to try and maintain a nice strong lockout while kicking our leg up into the air. If you can get your feet up onto the wall, then that's great. Then you're going to hold that overhead position, lock the feet up onto the wall. If you can't, it's going to allow you to start getting comfortable with this upside down position. Okay, so I want you to make sure there's no pain in your wrist and not too much in the shoulders. So from there, you're going to lock out, you're going to kick up as much as you can, maybe walk your feet a bit closer, and from there, stretch, and you're going to kick up, if you can, and back down, which you're going to work on, okay? So if you need to jump, you can jump, bring your feet a bit closer, take one leg up, kick, and that may be enough progression. So you're getting used to being upside down when you want to get there, okay? Kick, 2, kick, 3. If you're good with that, then you're going to go full lockout. You're going to kick up, you're going to hold, and come back down. Hold, go, hold, 3, 2, 1, kick back down. Hold, arms locked out, keep the arms locked out, pop, kick up, hold, one foot against the wall, other leg straight, hold. If you want to keep both knees bent, you can, a little bit more difficult, and back down. And that's what you're going to work on. Get used to being upside down, get used to kicking up against the wall. If you're comfortable with that, start taking your legs out, get your arms straight out, arms locked out, legs overhead. We're going to do 10 compressions of that compression exercise. We're going to do 10 kicking up on the wall, then you're going to rest. And we'll do 2 rounds in total. And that is your project inverted for session number 6 today. Okay, guys. Once you've done that, we're then going to go into the rest of the warm-up or the rest of the WOD prep. And we're just going to do some push-ups, some sit-ups. We're not doing jumping pull-ups or ring rows because we haven't got a bar. So you're just going to use whatever scale you can use for the workout. I want you to do between 5 and 6 reps of whatever you use for the workout. So if for the workout you're doing burpees, give yourself 5 burpees, 5 V-ups, short bear crawl. If you're going to do kickbacks, 5 kickbacks, 5 short sit-ups, bear crawl or an inchworm if you're doing that. Make sure you warm. Once you're warm and once you know what progression you're doing, then great. Choose your scale, set your clock, set your time, 16 minutes. Try and get as far up that ladder, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 that you can in those 16 minutes. And that is your Friday workout. Should be awesome. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, if we see you tomorrow morning, for your Saturday morning workout. Cheers, guys.